Springtime, blossom time, the finest time of the year, when nature awakens after a long and sometimes hard winter. Everywhere you look is beauty.
Yes, Oliver, spring is a wonderful time of the year. It's a slow transformation here in the north, but little by little spring is getting closer and closer. So it's time to prepare for those migrating birds that will be coming soon to our backyard, and prep our yards to make them attractive for our visiting birds. The first thing that we're going to have to do is clean up that mess of bird seed and hulls that are under our feeders. So we'll have to get a rake and shovel and scoop up this mess and dispose of it properly. We need to do this because this material can become moldy and make the birds sick. And unwanted seeds can sprout and attract unwanted pests. Next, we're going to want to bring out the waterers. Birds need water for survival. The birds will appreciate a source of fresh water after their long journey, and birds that stay in your backyard will rely on this source. Make sure your bird baths and water sources are clean and full. And when birds are picking a yard for nesting, this water resource is very important. Nesting birds are looking for an area that is abundant in the resources they need. By providing this water for these nesting birds, you will attract more of them to your backyard. Another thing we need to do is clean out those old feeders. We need to clean them out thoroughly, and then after they're cleaned out, make sure that they're filled daily. Again, this food becomes an essential resource for the birds of your backyard, and they will become especially dependent upon them during the nesting season, where your bird feeders are an easy source of food for them to bring to their young. And next, you're going to want to bring out your seasonal bird feeders. And by that I mean those hummingbird feeders and oriole feeders, and in my case I put out the mealworm feeder for my bluebirds. And while you're at it, you may consider putting out some new types of bird feeders. Spring is a great time to try out a new bird feeder. Consider the types of birds that are visiting your backyard and then choose the feeder that will fit their needs. Example, if you've got goldfinches coming to your backyard, put up a thistle feeder. Next, you're going to want to go out and clean up those bird houses. And while you're at it, you may want to put up some new ones. Maybe some that will attract bluebirds or wrens or maybe even purple martins. Another thing you're going to want to do is prepare your garden. You're going to want to plant flowers that attract insects during the summer and provide seed in the fall. And also plant flowered trees that will attract birds to your backyard. We have a cherry tree that blossoms in our backyard and attracts quite a number of birds. And another thing you may want to do is provide nesting materials for the birds. These nesting materials could be string, feathers, pet hair, twigs, and even providing mud puddles helps the birds out. I'd like to thank my sister-in-law Sandy for the use of her beautiful pictures, and Dick Peterson for the use of his 8mm film. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Mike the Birdman, and if you would like to see future content like this, please subscribe to my channel.